Hi, littlest one. It's Mommy. I just got out of the shower, but I'm going to read you your story. I miss you. I love you very much. Are you ready for the second part of the Illiad? So, last time we had just learned what the background of the story was. Now we're going to learn about the fight that they had. So, the quarrel. Like the quarrel that started the war in the first place, this quarrel was about a woman. The Greeks had captured several Trojans, and Agamemnon had seized a beautiful girl named Chryseis. There we go. Her father was a priest of the god Apollo, and he wanted his daughter back. He came to the Greek ship with a cart full of treasure, determined to ransom her. But Agamemnon refused to take the treasure. He treated the old man rudely and sent him away. Apollo was furious at the insult to his priest. He swooped down on the Greek ship with arrows carrying the plague. Day and night for 9 days, he shot the arrows at the mules and dogs and men. The whole Greek camp was devastated by disease and death. Achilles realized why the plague had hit them. "It's your fault," he said to Agamemnon. "Let the old priest take his daughter back. Otherwise, we'll have to give up and go home." Agamemnon flew into a rage. "You've taken captives too. Why should I give up mine while you hang on to yours? If I have to send Chryseis back, I want another woman instead. You can give me one of yours. I will take Chryseis." "Why should I suffer?" Achilles shouted. "My men and I deserve some reward for fighting your war. If you're going to take everything away, we might as well go home. We have no quarrel with the Trojans." "I am your king," thundered Agamemnon. "You have sworn to obey my orders." That was true, but Achilles refused to back down. Storming off to his hut, he ordered all his men to withdraw from the fighting. Agamemnon knew there was only one way to end the plague. He had to give up the old priest's daughter. But he was in command of the Greek army, and he couldn't allow Achilles to defy him. So when he sent Chryseis back to her father, he dispatched 2 of his soldiers to Achilles' hut to fetch Briseis. Briseis did not want to go with them. When she came out of the hut, she was crying bitterly. But Agamemnon's orders had to be obeyed. The soldiers hustled her away, and Achilles was left alone, staring out to sea. He wept with rage and humiliation. "How can Zeus treat me like this?" he shouted across the water. "Doesn't he care about me?" Deep in the ocean, his mother, Thetis, heard him. She came floating up through the clear blue water and drifted onto the beach. "Why so sad?" she said, stroking her son with a hand as delicate as the mist. Achilles told her bitterly. He was furious, and he wanted revenge. If you see that picture, that's a mama going to the upset man, and that's her baby. Her baby's there, and that's the mama. Whatever it costs other people, I want to see the Greek army on the run, he said. Go and plead with Zeus to help the Trojans. When the Greek army is penned in among these ships, when his soldiers are being slaughtered, maybe Agamemnon will realize how stupid he was to lose me and my Meripides. Thetis gazed at him with her eye full of tears. She knew he fated to die young. How could she refuse him anything when he had such a short time to live? I'll go straight to Zeus, she said. Leaving Achilles on the shore, she flew to Mount Olympus, where the gods watched over the human world. She flung herself at Zeus's feet and clasped his knees. So this is the mommy in the middle, and that's the god Zeus right there. And she's the god in the sea, and her son is upset. So she's going to beg this god, the king of the gods, to help him help the other side win. Mighty Father, she said, you know that my dear son Achilles is doomed to die young. Now Agamemnon has robbed and insulted him. Give Achilles his revenge. Let the Trojans win every battle until justice is done. Zeus looked down at her and sighed. The gods were divided over the war in Troy, and Hera, his wife, was furious supporter of the Greeks. But Thetis was looking up at him with tears in her lovely eyes, and he couldn't resist her grief. Reluctantly, he nodded. I will do it, he said. First, Zeus sent Agamemnon a false dream to deceive him. In the dream, Agamemnon saw himself talking to old Nestor, wisest of the Greek kings. Get up, Agamemnon, said the dream Nestor. Now is time to lead your armies out. If you like, attack now. You will defeat the Trojans and break down the walls of Troy. Remember this. Agamemnon woke up, and then he sat up, shaken by his vivid dream. Calling the other kings together, he told them to prepare for battle. I have had a message from Zeus, he said. We shall win this fight. All along the seashore, men began polishing along the seashore. Men began polishing their armor and harnessing the chariot horses. Bronze glittered in the sunlight, and the earth shook with the thunder of heroes' feet as they prepared to attack. So here's where they're at in the city fortress. And all of this is the armies pulling together, getting ready to go fight. And look at these cool pictures. Check out those rad outfits. He's got a leopard print dress on. Wow. But everything was quiet still around Achilles' ships. Achilles was sulking inside his hut, refusing to forget the quarrel with Agamemnon. And the Myrmidons were strolling around idly, watching their horses graze. None of them would be part of this battle. From inside the city, the Trojans saw what the Greeks were doing. At once they prepared to meet them. They marched through the Scassian gates and formed lines on a mound called Thorn Hill. But they weren't looking forward to the fight, and there was still a chance of avoiding a full-scale battle. As the Greek army approached, Paris stepped out, of the Trojan lines. He was dressed in a panther skin, with his bow in his hand. That's him right here. Is any brave enough to meet me in single combat? He shouted. If we settle the war like that, hundreds of lives will be saved. Melanius leaped forward instantly, hungry for the fight. He was eager to kill Paris and win back his wife. Glaring furiously at the Trojans, he began to buckle on his armor. Inside Troy, King Priam and his counselors were sitting on the city wall high above the Scarcius gate. They didn't hear what Paris said, but they saw what was happening, and they leaned together, muttering anxiously. As they were talking, Helen came walking along the ramparts. She started weeping at the sight of the two armies drawn up for battle, and her tears made her lovelier than ever. How beautiful she is, the old men whispered to one another. But oh, if only she had never come to Troy. King Priam beckoned her over. Tell me, he said, which of these Greek heroes is Agamemnon? Where is Melanius and Odysseus? Ajax and Diomedes? And which is Achilles? Helen looked down from the wall. Achilles isn't there, she said. But the tall, handsome man is Agamemnon. And the others, one by one, she pointed them out to Priam. The sound of their names made her ache with longing for her lost home in Sparta. But it was too late to undo what had happened. However sad she was, she could not end the war. Down below, Paris and Menelaus were facing each other with the weapons in their hands. But watching over the scene, the goddess Aphrodite had no intention of letting them fight. She knew that Menelaus was fastest and stronger, and she didn't want to see Paris killed. As Menelaus attacked, she stood beside Paris, ready to protect him. Menelaus grabbed at Paris's helmet, dragging him off of his feet and trotting him with the helmet strap. Quickly, Aphrodite broke the strap and sent Menelaus staggering backwards. Then she wrapped Paris in a thick mist and snatched him away from the battlefield. She whisked him into the city and laid him down on his own soft, scented bed. Menelaus was still trying to fight, but when he threw his spear into the mist, it clattered to the ground without hitting anything. Then the mist cleared, and Paris had vanished. Menelaus knew that one of the gods had interfered. Now there was no chance to stop the battle. The Greek chariots surged forward like a great wave of the sea, and the two armies clashed head-on with spears and swords and arrows. The killing began. Next time, Lydia, I see you. We're going to start to read this one. This is the next chapter, and it's called Inside the Walls of Troy. Pictures of people fighting. Let's look at the pictures that were in this one. These are the two men that tried to fight one-on-one so that the two armies wouldn't fight each other. This is the city getting ready for battle. Look at those big ships. Can you see them? And this is the mama going to the king of the gods asking for his help. And this is the mama coming to her son when he was crying. She lives in the bottom of the ocean, and she came up from the ocean to come and make him feel better. And that was the first page of the two men fighting. I love you. I hope you snuggle that doggy for me. I hope you're listening to Daddy and giving him lots of love too. I miss you. And I love you so much. Mwah. You're a smart lady, Lydia Gale. I mean, Lydia. Mwah. Noses. Noses. Mwah. Hugs. I love you. I am going to put this on YouTube so you can watch it whenever you want. I hope you have sweet dreams, Lydia. I will make your next chapter soon. Good night. Mwah.